All right, we'd like to welcome Luke Clanton to the interview room at the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. Luke, you're making your debut this week. Opening thoughts on how your game has been looking?
Yeah, I mean it's been good. You know, the start of the season's been a lot of fun, from traveling to Hawaii to California and then kind of back home a little bit here. So, you know, again, I've played here a couple of times, so I'm pretty excited to get it started.
You have the opportunity to earn your PGA Tour card with a made cut. What would that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it'd mean the world for sure. I mean, to do it here as well would be amazing, you know, an amazing journey, I guess you could say. But again, I think, you know, I'm going to be boring with this answer yet again, but just to kind of stay focused on one shot at a time. I think, you know, at Waste Management, I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself for the first day and, you know, had to do pretty something amazing in the last 8 holes. But, you know, again, I'm just going to kind of stay in the zone and stay with my game plan.
We'll open it up to questions. If you can just raise your hand, we'll get you a mic. We'll start with Brentley.
Luke, let's go back a few weeks to Phoenix. You know, you kept saying it wasn't your time. Your time's going to come. Now fast forward to now, you're an hour north of where you grew up. You're going to have lots of friends and family in the crowd. Can you just speak to the specialness of this tournament in this area and perhaps, you know, the perfect storybook setting for a pretty cool career achievement here in a couple of days?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I mean, I've watched this event growing up since I was probably 9 or 10 years old. So, again, it'd be a perfect story, but, you know, we don't know if it's my time or yet. You know, my time will come, and we don't know if it's this week or next week or whenever it will be. So, you know, again, I'm just going to trust in the Lord and know that, you know, it's golf. It's going to go my way or not go my way, and you know, again, I would love for it to be this week with all the friends and family coming up, but I'm just going to focus on one shot at a time.
What comes to your mind specifically when you think about your roots in this area and growing up at CC of Miami and CB Smith Park and rounds with your dad and all that?
Yeah, I mean, we played the junior Honda here a ton growing up, and we had high school stuff here growing up. So, you know, it's a little bit emotional for sure because I've always been on the sidelines watching this event, and kind of being on the side of the ropes and hitting golf shots out there with out here on this golf course is amazing. You know, I think it's just been an incredible journey so far, no matter what. And me and Jason kind of always been talking about it. It'd be a perfect story, but we just got to stay focused on what we have to do. You know, we're not going to look too far ahead. We're not going to be worried about who's coming or, you know, what we're going to do. We're just going to go out there and play the best we can.
Go up to Tom right here.
Hey, Luke, can you estimate how many times you've played this course?
Played 36 in one day a couple of times. So, yeah, but we used to. I don't know if I should say this, but we used to sneak out on like 3 or 4 and play a couple holes. So, but I mean, probably 40 times I'd say.
Okay, so that gives you almost like several guys in the field, kind of a home course advantage. What have you learned about the course? What's going to be challenging about these next 4 days for you on this course?
Yeah, I mean, they you just don't hit in the fairway, you're kind of screwed, to be honest with you. But, you know, again, if it gets windy out here, it gets tough. If it's not windy, then if you drive it well, you can play well. So, you know, again, you just have to be smart. Don't push anything. Don't try to force any kind of golf shots. You know, you can go out there and just play some good golf. But, again, I think it's like every other golf course you play. You know, we can say that about, you know, last week at Waste or the week before. So, again, it's just if you have a good game plan, you stick to it, and you just keep going forward.
And you touched on this a little bit earlier, but what did you learn from your last time out? Maybe, you know, thinking ahead a little bit too much, or was that the big thing? You know, what's the biggest takeaway you'll take from your last time out and now trying to accomplish the same thing this time?
Well, I've never played in front of a crowd like that before, so that was a first for me. And you know, again, I love it's pressure is a privilege. You know, that's a big thing that everyone says, and it's true. You know, I kind of looked at it as almost a little bit nerve-wracking at the beginning of the week, and then once we got to Thursday, you know, it was amazing to play with Justin Thomas, and then again with my good buddy Nick Dunlap. So, you know, again, it didn't go my way that week, and you know, you can look at it as a failure, but I look at it as learning, as we always say. And you know, again, I'm just going to try to stay in the moment as much as I can. And you know, everyone's trying to say to make the cut, but I want to play well as well. I want to try to go out and play the best I can. You know, so you know, I'm trying to kind of flip that mindset from just making the cut to actually try to compete in this event.
Go to Paul right here.
Are there specific things you do to try to stay in the moment? Some people, will be writing in their yardage book. People have different strategies. Are there specific things that you've tried to do to kind of implement that and stay in the moment?
Well, ours is pretty funny. I mean, I talked about basketball with Jason, so I almost get a little too much into the moment, I guess you could say, and he tries to kind of calm me down in some dumb ways, I guess you could say. But we have such a great game plan every single week. We prep great. We learned so much from the 11 or 12 start on tour so far. So like we said, it's like a rookie season within a rookie season. So we're just going to go out there and just do the best we can.
You mentioned pressure is a privilege. I'm just wondering, do you feel pressure to get this done, get this? I don't know if it's been a weight to try to get this 20th point, but do you feel pressure to get it kind of over with?
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, everyone's been talking about it a good bit, so it's cool though. I mean, it's a position that everyone wants to be in, and I'm in that position right now, and I'm excited to play the best golf I can. And like we say, if it's my time, it's my time. But we'll see. And
just, do you kind of know who's going to be out here this week with you? Family, friends? Do you have a ballpark number of how many people are out, or what it's going to look like?
No clue. I let my mom take care of that because I told my mom, I said I don't want to know who's coming. Just I'll see him on the first tee.
We'll go back to Brentley.
Speaking of your mom, she shared some good stories on Monday evening, a lot of good ones and some maybe that you don't want shared. But to think back on maybe the first time you really felt pressure, can you recall an event, whether it be junior golf, high school, college, where you really felt like for the first time you handled pressure and handled nerves well?
U.S. Kids Worlds at 11. I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, but we played a bunch of local events growing up and whatever, and that was like our biggest event of the year. And my dad was on the bag, and I remember I was shaking on 18, and it's pressure is kind of a word I don't like to use. I like to use excitement because it's exciting. You're out there trying to do the best you can and accomplish things that people are training for. So again, I think the whole pressure and the excitement, it's an honor to be even feeling that in general.
Would that U.S. Kids have been the first one you played after you got TaylorMade full set, all that?
Yeah. I didn't use it. I actually still use U.S. Kids Golf Clubs. So
on that one. Okay.
Yeah, I think I had the Jet Speed irons, and me and my dad were kind of going back and forth because I was hitting a 7-iron like 20 yards further with the Jet Speeds, and I wanted to use them, but he didn't let me use them. So it was a little bit different. But I used the TaylorMade driver and everything else, and I used a TaylorMade mallet putter that I have still in my room back home because it's one of a kind. So it's just been incredible. So I'm excited.
And then lastly for me, your equipment. Do you still use the same irons that you've used for years, or have you finally switched those out? And
no, I still use the same ones. 5 years old. Yeah. So we just actually found a backup set for the first time. So it's pretty cool to know that I don't have to stress out about traveling with them, and hopefully they don't break. But I'm pretty generic with this stuff, and what works is what works.
We'll go over to Andrew over here on the left.
Sticking with equipment there, it seems like you have a pretty good mix of old and new clubs in the bag. I'm curious if you're pretty hands-on with your own equipment, or you work with a fitter or a couple different fitters. How do you go about that selection process for what's in the bag?
I can't tell you what my loft lie is or my degree or whatever it could be. So I leave it up to the people I trust and the people I know. And, I think, again, I have a great team around me that helps me out with the process. And, I try not to overcomplicate things with golf because it's already complicated enough.
I saw a new putter in the bag recently. Can you talk about how that ended up in the bag, or any other changes that you might have made recently?
I didn't putt too great at Sony. And I just wanted a new look, and I put it in Torrey and gained about 5 shots in the first couple rounds. So I said that's not too bad, and I kept it in.
We'll go over here to the Adam.
How did you find that backup set?
My caddy. So my caddy, I've been telling him for years about the 760 irons that we just can't find, and TaylorMade doesn't have anymore. So he went to an old club pro in Illinois and found a set that's brand new, and he always brings like one little gift for every event, and he brought them over this week, and it was pretty cool.
You talked about pressure. What do you think is the pressure like on your teammates that you pretty much have said you stayed there because you want to win a national championship?
Wait, say that one more time so I understand that.
Yeah. What do you think the pressure your teammates feel
Yeah.
to win that national championship, given that that's kind of the reason you've stayed?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a journey with the whole team. So we know that if we put the work in and what we have to do, if it happens, it happens. I think national championship, it involves a lot of things. You're playing 6-7 rounds of golf, back to back, fatigue, everything you can imagine. So, we've been in that position. We've come close to winning, and if it happens, it happens. We all know that we have to put the work in and grind as hard as we can, but also take the time that we need. So, that's you can call it pressure, but it's excitement. It's just exciting to be even in that conversation about national championship team. So, again, I think all the guys back home were super pumped. We just won Watersound, which was pretty cool by a couple of strokes, and it's cool to be back there and travel with the team and have a good time.
It almost happened at RSM. What did you learn about yourself and your game that week?
That I can do it. I mean, at John Deere, it was a little bit different because the guy who won it was playing pretty good golf, no doubt. But at RSM, we were on the final hole, tie for the lead, and that's something different. I had my best friend on the bag for that week, Sam Kodak, and he just was a college teammate of mine, and he was more nervous than I was. So it was funny to see that. We were on 18 with an iron in my hand, and he was shaking hand the club to me, and I saw it, and I was laughing. So, that kind of stuff to me, it's just an all learning experience. I hit that ball in the middle of the green, I probably have a chance to win the tournament. So, again, I'm 21 years old. I'm still learning. I'm still an amateur, and I'm not going to make that excuse all the time because we need to perform. But it's learning through everything. So it's awesome.
We go to Paul right here.
We were going through old footage. I think we found you playing in the Pro-Am of this event a while back, maybe even in a little press conference. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
What do you remember about that?
Well, I played with Kevin Kisner. Yeah, so he was a Bulldog. My mom was a Bulldog, so they got along pretty well. But it was hilarious. I mean, he's a very funny dude to be around for sure. And I was like 11 years old, and I was talking a little bit of smack to him, trying my best. But he kicked my butt that day, of course. And I think from 11, 12 years old to now, it's just kind of seen the development of everything happening. And we always talked about how cool it'd be to play in this event, and how cool it'd be, home field advantage or whatever you're going to say. And now it's actually happening. It's pretty surreal.
And last thing for me, just you look a little different than what we've seen in previous times. Nike stuff on. Just was that another kind of pinch me moment in this sign-in with, I'm sure a company that you've long admired?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the dream for me, and to kind of be able to wear it and rep it, it's unbelievable. I think everyone knows that Nike's pretty cool, so it's just an amazing accomplishment. And again, I've tried to just realize what's happening in the moments, because we always look forward and keep chasing, and it's pretty cool.
We'll go back left.
What's up, Luke? Andre, stay tranquilo. You're from Hialeah, Florida. I got to ask you, how's the Cuban food? Do you still consume it at all?
Oh yeah, I love it. We have a Cuban restaurant right next to our house, and I go there every time I come back, and I get a palomino steak and Cuban sandwich. It's the best, dude. I can show you.
What's your favorite course in Miami?
Gosh, that's hard. I mean, I don't know. Doral was really good when I was back home in high school. It was in pretty mint condition for a while. I haven't been there in a while, but Indian Springs, obviously, that's one of the best golf courses in Florida. So, but yeah, I mean, if you get out to Indian Springs, that's probably the one for sure.
For sure. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke.
No
Good
worries.
luck this week.
Thank you.